This is Straight Talk Politics, 1 minute. This is Trump on the Department of Defense DeSantis strategy. Thank you for all your encouragement. I like the readership numbers on the last week's articles. I'm going to try and put out content on a consistent basis. The holiday season is going to be less content than usual. The political season will probably get going right after the end of the year, but I've got a couple of good articles here. Number one is thank you for watching today. Like, share this content with your friends, subscribe, notify. We really need people. I'm very happy with the level of viewership of last week's articles. Okay, so straight talk politics on the DeSantis situation. Pete Hegseth is his nomination's in trouble. The allegations we'll get to in a later slide, but Trump's strategy seems to be right now, well, it could be worse. I could send you somebody who would be much harsher and meaner and more disruptive. Stand in Florida Governor Rick DeSantis. Now, there was a leak that was intentionally by the Trump transition team, which was that they were considering pulling Hegseth's nomination. We'll get you the reasons why. The reasons are pretty obvious. So Trump tries to boost Hegseth with the following strategy. Rick DeSantis will be much worse. Encourage the Senate with a well-timed leak. I mean, come on. This is the United States Senate. They've been around for 240 odd years, almost 250 years. They're not going to just nominate Hegseth because they think President Trump is going to do worse. I mean, if Donald Trump tries that, they'll reject both nominees. They've shown considerable backbone so far, and there are more than 4 senators who are willing to stand up to Trump, who don't care about re-election. I mean, Mitch McConnell is one of them. Mitch McConnell has caved in a lot, but all Mitch McConnell has is 2 years left to go, and he's out. He's not going to have to. And if he breaks with Trump, it's going to be a serious undermining of Trump's presidency. It's going to make it look more like a lame duck. But I digress. The leak of Florida Governor Rick DeSantis' views is designed to scare Hegseth opponents. This is how much worse it can be. But to nominate Rick DeSantis, or to threaten to nominate Rick DeSantis in order to get Pete Hegseth approved, is basically an attempt to bully the United States Senate. Donald Trump is a bully. He's been bullying people his entire life. He tried to bully people into the insurrection in January 6, 2021, and it's not going to work this time. People know who they're dealing with, and people are going to stand up to him. The United States Senate is not to be bullied. If you want to bully someone, you need to pick someone who's less powerful than you, and the United States Senate has the ability to stop any and all Trump nominations for any reason, and it takes a 60 vote to bring that nomination past the filibuster rate. 60 votes is not something you're going to get for any vote in the Senate right now, with the fact that there are 47 Democrats who are not going to approve any of the Trump nominees. The allegations are the same. Serious alcohol abuse. See the Alcohol Anonymous website as far as what the definition of alcoholism. It was pretty clear that at least 4 of the criteria for being an alcoholic have been met by allegations on Pete Hegseth's past behavior, and quite frankly, by definitions, by the Alcoholics Anonymous definitions, he may be an alcoholic. Do you want to make an alcoholic who is not admitted that he has a problem the head of the Department of Defense, the defense of the United States, in a situation where there's war going on in Ukraine and a war in the Middle East, and the government of Syria is on the edge of falling? See our next article on Syria. New charges of financial mismanagement were discussed. A alleged financial mismanager as Department of Defense Secretary of Defense running the entire Department of Defense doesn't sound to me like a really good idea. So will Trump's Senate strategy work? Straight Talk Politics says, and we quote, you can quote us on this, just like our bad election prediction, probably not. The United States Senate has been around for 248 years, and they're not going to just knuckle under to Donald Trump just because he tries to scare them with scary Rick DeSantis. Rick DeSantis has some of the qualifications necessary to run the Pentagon. At least he's run a large organization in the state of Florida. I had some comments on how he ran Florida back when I was a Florida resident, but that's not worth repeating. So a question he asked last week is, if the Florida governor, would he be better than Pete Hegseth? Actually, probably he would be better. Yeah, his policies are very much anti-woke. I think woke is being overly woke and making that too prominent made the Democrats vulnerable and had some responsibility for the election loss on November 5th, 2024. And I don't believe that people's rights should be taken away just because who they love, who they live with, etc. But I don't feel that it needs to be something that you shove in everybody's face either. I mean, I don't want to. I personally don't want to be in certain environments. Therefore, I don't go into certain places for entertainment, and I shouldn't be forced to be exposed to things that I think are bad for my kids or bad for my grandchildren or whatever. I think that the Democratic Party was too woke in the last election, and they were too woke during the Biden term, and economic factors were bigger, but it was a vulnerability, and I think Trump spent 24 or 124 million dollars on ads that were just lies about how woke a Harris administration would be, and they were effective. They were not countered by Kamala Harris's campaign. It is hard for me to believe that Rick DeSantis, so viciously attacked in the 2024 primaries, and Uncle Don have kissed and made up. Now that visual is just wow. I don't know where I came up with that one, but that visual is just giving me a little bit of shakiness right now. So my question, why is Donald Trump playing games with the Senate? Is he hoping to get them to go out of session for 10 days so he can appoint anybody he wants via recess appointments? They've said no. John Thune has said he's not going to knuckle into that strategy. I don't know, but I think the reason that Donald Trump is playing games with the Senate is he's not really has no patience to do the job. This is a job that requires patience. It's a job that requires subtlety, and he just doesn't have it. He's not demonstrated his patience. He's not demonstrated the ability during the campaign to stay out of messages. And I'm still frankly surprised that a cold evaluation of the two candidates did not make a majority of Americans realize that Kamala Harris is more competent for the job. But Donald Trump has the job, the oldest president ever to be inaugurated. The question is it going to be effective? And if he continues to waste his political capital on these games, he's not going to be effective. His lame duckness will begin, and it will continue. I want to thank everybody for their attention to this article. I appreciate all your good feedback, and I like the audience numbers. Please share this with your friends. That like button is very helpful to us. It helps the algorithm send us more visitors. Share with your friends, subscribe, notify, and thank you very much.